Hello everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of the Zoho Webinar Podcast. Today we have Ganesh with us, Senior Manager of Zoho Training and Certifications. Hello Ganesh.
Hi, Anisha.
Thank you for joining in our debut podcast. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right. So how have you been, Ganesh? I know you're just back from the Brazil Inspire event. How did the event go?
Yeah, the crowd was very interactive and it was a great session of 2 days. And this is the first time that we are doing Zoholix for 2 days and then the Inspire for 2 days. And the crowd was so engaging and it was quite good.
All right. Thank you for sharing the experience. Ganesh, you've been in this industry for quite some time now. Tell us what inspired you to become a trainer or educator?
Yeah, that was a quite interesting question. Back in 2010, the career started with support engineer. And during the process of support, we used to a lot of time we used to engage with the customers and as well as try to troubleshoot the issues and so on. So we thought about not just about support, we also thought about giving a training and making the product available for everyone and as well as reaching it to every single person's requirements. So together we and the management team started the training process like 6 years ago. And when we initially started that we only took CRM training. But now if you see for the past 5 years and we've been growing and we have more than 20 different products, trainings and as well as certifications.
All right, that's great and inspiring. So to start with the basics, how would you define an impactful learning experience? What are the key elements that stand out comparing to the traditional learning methods?
Okay, so before explaining about the key elements, I would like to talk about the types of trainings that what we offer.
Sure.
So when we say types of trainings, we do have 4 different types of trainings.
Okay.
So we have a one-on-one session and we have a virtual session. The difference between the one-on-one and a virtual session is one-on-one is just dedicated to a single person from a single organization. Okay. So here you will have much more time to have a communication and understand the requirements and talk about the problems and then give them the solutions accordingly. And when it comes to virtual training, here it's one-to-many participants that you can see it. So one person would be training and multiple people from the different organizations would join this session. And these are pre-scheduled sessions for all the products that we listed in our website. So apart from these virtual and online trainings, we do conduct in-person classroom trainings. Okay, so this is more of you directly will be able to meet customers in person, customers or partners in person, and you will able to answer the queries and give them solutions in person. That is more interactive. And finally, we have a on-site training. So this is a person who has a requirement in building an application for their organization would hire us, and then we go there and we set up their CRM account and we train their team and the whole company members there. So these are the 4 types of training methods that what we have. And within this, most of the engagements that what we have nowadays is one-on-one and the virtual training sessions.
All right. Okay. Thank you for elaborating that, Ganesh, the types of training. And the key takeaway is flexibility and adaptability is one of the important element for impactful learning experiences, I would say.
Definitely, yes. Because when it comes to one-on-one, as I said, it is more time spending with the customer and you get to know about what's their problem, what's their requirements, and giving a solution tailored to their business. Okay, that is very, very important. Though you will be able to do that in a virtual session, but that is more of a one-to-many concept. So rather than virtual session, in one-on-one, you will have much more time spending and then collecting information from a customer. And then even after the session is completed, you will still be able to talk about the solutions and customize CRM account or any other product based on the business requirement where the customer's in.
All right. So, in a related note, what are the main benefits of hosting an in-person training and online training?
Okay, that's a good question. When it comes to the online training, people can opt for the online training from their comforts. Like either they are working from home or they're working from office, they would be able to join remotely. And the only trouble here is as a trainer, we will not be able to see how engaging they are in the online sessions. Of course, we'll try to give as much as activities as possible, but still there is, since it's an online session, where you will not be able to completely connect with the customer as you can connect in the in-person training. So during the in-person training, you would be able to completely take the control of the customer's requirements, and you would be able to even customize it in front of audiences, and then you can give that as a solution for them.
All right. So definitely the shift towards remote work has led to the adoption of online training platforms, digital literacy, and flexibility in e-learning.
Yeah. Definitely, I would say.
Definitely.
Yes.
All right. So what is the first step you take when you design a training program or a learning course, Ganesh?
Okay. The first thing that what we do when we design the training course, we directly go ahead and talk to individual teams, like for example, if it's a CRM team or a projects team or a recruit. So we talk to individual PM teams and then collect the data of the complete structure of that particular product.
Okay.
And then we form a structure. Based on the structure, we form an agenda. Okay. So these agendas depends on the particular product. It may go for a couple of hours training, or it can even extend for a complete day. Okay. So these are the structure that what we form. And then when we were able to deliver this to the customer, I mean, when we are updating this on a website, customers would be able to clearly see the information of what particular product that they are signing up for. Now, these agendas are being made contacting the support team and as well as contacting the product management team.
Okay.
So collective of all these information, then we will have that agenda structured and then we will publish it on the website.
All right. That's a great start. And that actually leads me to another question. How important is personalization in training? And how do you adapt content that meets diverse learning needs?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So if you see that product is the same.
All right.
But if you see there is a vast amount of people who will use the same product in different industries. Okay. So when it comes to the in-person training or when it comes to the one-on-one trainings, this is where you will be able to interact more with the customer, explaining about the product and at the same time getting their inputs with related to the business. And then you would be able to give the delivery related to the businesses or their requirements, or sometimes they may have a problem that was not solved because they have used that tool quite minimum, not at the large scale.
Okay.
So in this particular scenario, we would be able to go ahead and give them a solution based on the customized training processes that can be done for every single industry. So though the agenda is the same, but we give them the way that how we get the inputs from the customer or a partner who has signed up for that particular product.
All right. So to summarize what you just shared, tailoring content according to the learner is very important.
It is very important.
All right. So how do you ensure that the learning experience is completely learner-centered and not just content-based?
Cool. So when you say content-based and a learner's center, content is that what we prepared as an agenda. Okay. So this agenda is going to be a standardized one, whether it's going to be a couple of hours or it's going to be like a number of days, it's the same. However, when trainer takes a specific training for a specific product, they ask requirements from the customer or from the partner or from the participants, whoever joining the session. So during that particular session, at the beginning of the session, as much as the information related to the business that what the trainer can get from the customer and started to giving the solution from the day one of the training itself. And not just that, we will try to apply the current business scenarios in every single training. And we believe in storytelling. So every single product that whatever we train every single day, we start with stories, okay, so that the customers, though they forget the steps that how to get to that particular feature, they will still remember this particular stories, so that whenever they go back to that particular feature or a solution, even after the training, they would be able to go ahead and recollect the information about the story, and they can start going and exploring that with the product.
That's great. Yeah. So mainly focusing on the learner's growth and engagement rather than focusing only on the content.
True.
Exactly. So now I'm curious to know how technology influenced the way you create and deliver trainings, and is there any specific tools that you recommend to the listeners?
Yeah, of course. We use Webinar, and we also use Trainer Central. So these are the tools that we use for customers and partners for trainings, and as well as workshops and demos and several other options of sessions. And I think we also use Zoho classes as well.
Okay. So yeah, you can use Zoho Webinars for hosting online courses, trainings, and product demonstrations. In case if you want to host any large-scale virtual conferences, you can also use Zoho Webinar for that.
True.
And yeah, excellent. You've given us great insights about different platforms of Zoho. And can you share some techniques that you found particularly effective when engaging the audiences or the learners?
Okay. By using the tools on a day-to-day basis during the training, these tools, we will, so basically how it works is like we'll send them the invite, and once the people join the session, at the beginning of the session, we would explain the tool usage in the first place. Okay. So people will know, like, there is a chat box where you can go ahead and add some chat in case if you wish to. Let's say if you're leaving for a break, you can put some comments over there and you can leave for a break.
Exactly.
And the same way, we also have a question
and
section.
answer.
So that you can go ahead and type your questions. And the very important thing is we have an open mic system. So when I say open mic, meaning the beginning of the session, all these tools will have a mic enable and disable option. So we enable these microphone. So anytime the audience can go ahead and just raise their questions, and based on the topic that what we deliver, if they have any concerns or if they are not able to hear us or anything, they can go ahead and answer that over the open mic.
Definitely. So incorporating interactive elements like question and answers, hand raise, quizzes will not only keep them actively involved, but also keep them engaged and interactive throughout the session.
True, that's true. And we have also recently added the emojis as well. So like raise your hand or like claps or like gives a thumbs up and so on. So these are the way that how you can keep them engaged.
Exactly. Some of the non-verbal feedback that they can actually give to the trainers during the session.
Definitely.
Exactly. Yes. So now, are there any challenges you face during your online trainings, and how do you overcome them when things go south?
Okay. So mostly we don't have any issues with related to the sessions that we conduct, but in case, of course, that sometimes that you will not be expecting that. During that way, we would be able to use the same sessions by using the mobile phone as well, with the minimum level of bandwidth that you have. So it's an easy switch from your computer to your hand devices, just like how we've been using it.
So those were some of the effective ways to handle the technical issues. Hearing that, I'm curious to know, how do you stay updated with the latest techniques and innovations in learning and development?
Learning never ends. I believe in that.
Sure.
So though you become a trainer and though you become another level and so on, still I have to learn every single day. And that applies not just in the product, for everything. So I have to keep learning. And when I say keep learning, I have to sit with the support team at times. I have to sit with the product management team. Whenever there is a new feature released in every single product, I just have to keep myself up to date, and only then I will be able to go ahead and deliver that to the customers or to the partners. Learning never stops.
Definitely. Now, how do you ensure that the learners retain and apply the learning experience long after the learning has ended?
Okay. Yeah. So what we do is after they're setting up the long hours of sessions, like 2-day sessions or 3-day sessions, we'll try to keep the customers as engaged as possible. So during the session, we give them some tasks at the end of every single session to see where do they stand in terms of the feature that they've been trained today. And of course, even after the session, what we do is we give them some help article links where they can go ahead and refer the related products that what they've been trained on. And those related product links will help them to navigate to the certain functionalities or features or even the upcoming new features. And they can always go ahead and see those help articles and keep them up to date with the product. And we will also be sending them some mock questions after the session so that they can practice themselves to prepare for the certifications and things in case if they wanted to.
All right. So here is the big question. With the rapid advancement of AI, how do you see AI in education, specifically with tools like ChatGPT is actually transforming the way we conduct trainings? How do you think the role of an educator will evolve after AI? And what unique contributions can AI make that humans cannot?
When it comes to AI, I wouldn't think it would completely replace human. I would say it's like it should work parallelly. Related to the enhancements and things like that. Yeah, when it comes to AI, more of a data-driven rather than a training focus. I would say up until now, I wouldn't say that AI can completely replace a human in terms of the training or the education or the teaching career. But when it comes to the training or when it comes to the education, you always need a personal touch.
Definitely.
Okay, and that is much needed. That cannot be replaced by a machine.
By a machine, definitely.
So that's where I would say a human touch is 100% needed in a education industry.
Absolutely. So AI can offer data-driven insights, but it definitely lacks the nuances of a human's empathy, understanding that the human educator can provide to the learning environment. So when it comes to large number of learners in a training with many people in the session, how do you ensure that the training is effectively managed and the discussions are stimulated? And also how do you ensure that all participants feel heard and engaged throughout the session?
That's an interesting question because every participant need a special attention towards the registration for the product or the training that what they've been signed up for. So at the beginning of the session, our trainers will make trainees comfort, saying that you would be able to use the open mic whenever there is a question asked. And as well as you would also go ahead and use the chat functionalities that we have in the tools. And not just that, at the end of the session, we do still extend our sessions to answer them one-on-one questions too. So if people are trying to ask more number of questions during the sessions, and if these questions are unattended, we would still take these questions offline.
Okay.
So by taking the question offline, trainees can spend more time with the trainers and asking the questions and getting their required answers or the solutions that's been given at the end of the sessions too.
All right. So we were discussing how to curate a training program, how to tackle if any challenges occurs during online training program, the different types of trainings and so on. I think our listeners are also curious to know how you measure the success of the training and what metrics or feedback methods do you use?
Yeah, so this is very important because not just about the delivery. We also should capture the analytics of what we have done and how the participants are feeling about it. So at the end of the sessions, that what we do, the tools that what we use, by default, they collect feedbacks related to the everyday session and collect daily, for example, like a star rating your trainer, or like how was the overall training experience, how was the content that was delivered today, things like that.
Yeah.
And that's there in every single tool that you use to conduct the session. And on top of that, our trainers would also send us a feedback at the end of the last day's session and asking the customers feedback and how do they feel about it. And I think it's about more than 10 questions that they have to fill up in terms of product, in terms of the trainer, and in terms of how was the delivery and the overall the trainings, how do they feel about it. So we collect all these data and we selectively work on the areas to improve, and as well as if they are also talking about a new feature or enhancements that they would like to add on the next training, we would talk to the product management team, and then we'll try to bring up in the upcoming agenda or upcoming trainings.
Definitely. Feedback helps trainers to pinpoint what's working and what's not, and to make a continuous improvement.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay. So Ganesh, given your expertise, what advice would you like to give to the educators or our listeners who are just starting to focus in the training field?
Well, I would say start exploring and spend more time with the product that you've been signed up for. And whenever you have a specific requirements, it's always better to go ahead and get your hands dirty with the product that what you have signed up for. And then as much as you spend your time in the product, you will know the complete set of product in detail. So no one can replace you in that. So you have to go ahead and keep on learning. Okay, I believe in that. So I would suggest the same for our audience too.
Thank you so much for being here today and sharing the valuable insights. I've learned a lot today. We are almost at the end of this episode, and I have a small keepsake for you. Thank you so much for joining today.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in to our podcast today. We look forward to having you in the next episode. Until then, it's goodbye from the entire team.